So the bootstrapping challenge, I already talked a little bit about. It's how do you, as Mick said, how do you build the plane while it's in flight, kind of a thing. Bootstrapping is a tough problem for any industry, you know, for any type of endeavor. And yeah, so you're trying to figure out how to get research up and running really, really fast without having to wait for the infrastructure to be built. And I think really the key way that we ended up doing that at Nuvalent, and this wasn't, we didn't just know this and do it, right? We sort of had to figure this out as we went. But the key was getting a product like Vault in first. And the reason that was so important is because of the user interface of Vault mostly. So the user interface of Vault is very clean, it's very consistent, and has a very shallow learning curve, meaning that you can put Vault in place and all the scientists on your team, regardless of what level of computer savvy they are, they can immediately start pulling data out and they can immediately start putting data in. And that's really, really key, because what that does is that allows the research machine to start, and then it frees up time to build the infrastructure around it on a much longer time scale. But you have to have that confidence that, okay, well, this Vault solution is good enough that we're willing to then invest time and money in putting the rest of the infrastructure around it. And a little story about that, I mentioned that we didn't go with Vault right away. We were demoing solutions from other vendors. And the first thing that you need to do when you put one of these solutions in place is take all your historical chemical registration, because you've been probably making compounds for a while before the system gets into place. Could be, you know, a few dozen up to a few hundred compounds. And you've got to get that into the solution like Vault first before you can really do anything. One of the vendors we were demoing, so we were trying to do that step, and we as users couldn't do it. So we had to send our Excel sheet with all the registration structure and registration data to their systems engineer, and they were going to put it in. And what we didn't realize is how long it would take. So it would take them more than a week to get this historical data in the system. But we were synthesizing compounds faster than they were able to actually put our registration into the system. So every week we would say, oh, actually, we have these new compounds and we can't register them in the system because that'll mess up all the numbering. So you need to do this one as well. And then it would take them more than a week to do those. And we were just, it was faster to make compounds than it was for them to put compounds in their system. And so this was something that we didn't expect. It was pretty eye-opening. And then when we demoed Vault, on the very first day that the system went live, without any training, I just took my spreadsheet, went into Vault, started clicking, and in less than 5 minutes, the whole thing was in and correct.